tuning in. Hey, what's up, Hello News family? Welcome to our very first live show. We are in the building, okay? Oh my gosh. Look, if y'all are in the comments, give me some love. Let me know the audio was good. Y'all know how I say we are live. And when I say we live and we on Colored People Time, y'all look, don't beat me up too much. No more than Miami Traffic did, okay? Like I had a whole plan. I was, I did my promo graphics and everything. What's up, Jay James? JJ, that's my love. That's the love of my life. That's my bestie. That's my everything. He just gave me a good little word before I came on, got my spirits up. So I love you for that. But yes, y'all, we're gonna have to do a whole show on Miami Traffic because, baby, it should not take me 2 mother effing hours to get from Overtown. I was at Little Greenhouse Grill. Shout out to Nicole Gates over there. Saw the founder there. I love her. She got some big news coming. I don't know if she want me to share it yet, but she got some good news coming. Hey, what's up? I see you. Hey, well, y'all come in the comments. Yes. So let me get back to my story. So I'm in Overtown, coming from the Press Forward convening. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit more about that later in the show. And so doing a little bit of work, eating, met up with some cool people, some friends or whatever. And 3:00. It took me 2 hours to get from Overtown to Pembroke Pines. This is effing crazy. My people who in charge of the traffic, county, state, federal, God, whoever we got to call on, please fix the traffic, okay? Because this is effing crazy. It should not take anybody 2 hours to get from Overtown to Pembroke Pines. At best, I'm going to say an hour. I'm going to give you an hour. But 2 hours, when I say 95 and 7th Avenue beat me up so bad, I ain't had nothing left in me. When I say I had to really sit for like 20 minutes and just get my mind and my life together. And I was so dizzy from the stopping and starting at the lights and on track. I was just like, it took so much energy out of me just to be in traffic. I was home. It took me an hour from 50 and 17 back to Carol City. Girl, Chantel, this is crazy. Look what we got to do to get some trains, some more buses, some more something, some more highway, some more street. Because, no, literally, I am so mad because I had this whole plan. This is the launch of our new news show. I got my guest here. She's amazing. Like, and I'm sitting here coming on 20 minutes late because of 2 hours in traffic. Couldn't get my stuff together. Thank you, JJ, for giving me that word because I was up here. When you be sitting in traffic, you be so effing tense. You can't even. And then I was on a Zoom call doing a meeting, so thank God I gave me some extra time to do that. So I'm multitasking, talking to my business operations manager, TV and Business Solutions, Tamila. Shout out to her. And it's just, yes, traffic is terrible here. It's all new construction, new people. Some of y'all gotta go. Some of y'all gotta effing go, okay? Like, I don't know what we gotta do, what the solution is. Do we need helicopters? What we need. But what we don't need is for hardworking people to be sitting in their car for 2 hours to get somewhere. I work from home. And I'm usually not in Miami rush hour traffic. Most of the things I go to for work and stuff, like it's after hours or whatever. So I'm not used to this new traffic. This new girl said, When I say 95 and 7th Avenue jump me, I had to put some extra concealer on to hide my black eyes. Them hoes, they from the city. They must be from the city. They must be from the beans. They must be from the old beans. They must be from P. Ryan. They from the hood. They gave me a good 1990s ass kicking. Excuse, we ain't gonna get monetized today then. The way the traffic, seriously. And you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch my interview with I'm gonna go back and watch my interview with Commissioner Oliver Gilbert and Commissioner Keone McGee, because they were talking about the issue of traffic and some of the things that they had in store. So I want to do a little, go back and see what they said, but also have them on the show too, because something gotta change. Something gotta change. But yeah, y'all, let's get into this new show. So let me tell y'all what I'm doing today, right? And first of all, I know y'all here for the Miami streets. I know y'all here for the Miami streets, okay? The street name is by Commissioner, the streets that beat me up. I know y'all here to talk about the new names that's gonna be here, right? So y'all hold tight. But I want to tell y'all about this new concept, and not really new, but this new format of the Can We Talk podcast. So every week, I'm going to be here with special guests, hot topics, news of the day, local news, state news, federal news, and some fun news as well. We'll be coming up with different topics, feel good topics. Also, too, I want y'all input. Let me know what y'all want to see on the show. Let me know guests. But what I want this to be is a place for us to have our news. I know a lot of millennials and Gen Z and just people in general aren't watching traditional news, so let me be y'all guide to what's going on. And so we'll have our weekly show with hot topics and things of the day. And, got to give a huge shout out to dear friend, mentor, inspiration, Funky Dineva, who has been doing this for so long, and he has an amazing show. So definitely you'll see some of that inspiration in here, because first of all, I'm a funky bunch. So I watch his show religiously. If I don't watch nothing else, I'm watching Funky Dineva show. So he definitely inspired me to do this. Also to shout out to Roland Martin, Amanda Seals, and Don Lemon, all the people who are in the YouTube space sharing news. This is the future of news, okay? And so this is what we're going to be doing every week. My plan is to go live 5:30 every week to give you guys news. But sometimes if I'm traveling or something happens, life happens, I'll give y'all an update and let y'all know what time we going live. And of course, Replay Gang, watch it on demand. At some point, I'm gonna have the audio version for people as well. If you have paid YouTube, you can always download it. If you, I do that too with a lot of YouTube shows. I download the video and watch it while I'm traveling, while I'm on the plane. So I want you guys to add us to your news show and your news list, because I'm coming for everybody lunch. Okay, Channel 7, who? Channel 10, who? What's the other ones? I don't even know them other girls. Okay, tell them Hello News is here. Tell them Can We Talk is here. Okay. So yes, this is what we're doing. This is our space, a safe space for millennials, Black people, BIPOC people, disenfranchised people, all the people. This is our show. And so this is our new concept. And so I hope y'all feel it. Also to like and subscribe. I really am trying to get our subscribers up over on YouTube. We are about a little bit under 300. And I know once you hit 300 subscribers, you're able to allow super chats. And that's also like donations that you can give us that help fund the show. So we are here to, looking for different revenue streams to fund journalism. So things like that, donations and things, however you can support us, do that. So if I'm asking everybody who's watching, like, share, subscribe, send it to a friend. Let them know that we are here and we're doing this weekly show, and it is just for you guys. So yes, now that we got that public service announcement out of the way, and I don't healed up a little bit after the traffic girls jumped me, let's get into our first local news story of the day. Yes. So I would like to, and what we're going to do, it may be, and we casual, okay? This not your grandma news, y'all. If y'all know Hello News, this not your grandma news, okay? So you already know how we do it over here. And so what I'll be doing too is going to our website, because we have a lot of news that sometimes we only share with our loyal followers. So this is also an opportunity for me to share some things that's going on in the community and things that we cover. And if you're not a loyal follower, you need to come on over here then, okay? And join our email sub list and go to our website, because we have content there. But here I'll also to take the opportunity to share certain things as well. So let me share our first story, which is up, which is Dr. Gallen's Student of the Month. I had the opportunity to attend his event, and it was so cute. First of all, packed house. I was not expecting that many people there, okay? Like, them parents and them kids were ready. They got their medals. It was so cute. And so I just wanted to show you guys this really, really cute story and some of the pictures from his event. So here's Dr. Gallen. He has a Student of the Month. This month it was at Lake Stevens Middle. Here's Dr. Gallen with the beautiful family and the awardee. Oh my gosh, look at her. And the kids, y'all, they're so cute. They're there. They're dressed up, and it's a big deal. And there's students in District 1, Dr. Gallen's district, are the ones who are being honored. And so it's a really, really adorable event, and also too just a great way to give our kids some love, give our kids recognition, and encourage them. And something else that I really loved at the event that Dr. Gallen did, it was not just kids who were the A student or the honor student. It was stuff there for kids with special needs, learning disabilities, kids who may be most improved in their behavior. And something that I'm a product of Miami-Dade County Schools. Shout out to Carroll City. Shout out to the West. Wait, look at me. Y'all can tell I'm not really Northwestern like that, because I did this for the West. So shout out to the West. Oh, y'all girls, don't beat me up. Don't get me too much. Oh, the Northwestern girls finna drag me. Oh, forgive me, Northwestern. Okay, so I'm a product of Miami-Dade County Schools, right? And so something that I realized when I was a student, that it always seemed like it was only things for the, super duper achievers. Of course, I was one, but not everybody is going to be the A student, is going to be the AP student, the honor students. Of course, JJ in the comments was one. Of course, Chantel in the comments was one. Of course, Velveeta was one. If you were one, put one in the comments, okay? Oh, Derica was one. Okay, so shout out to y'all. Shout out to Carroll City, Jackson in the comments, Miami Lakes in the comments. And so, yeah, so what I really loved is that Dr. Gallen created this space of awarding and celebrating our kids. And so I wanted to, definitely highlight that and show him some love and show those students some love for their hard work. And, every month he's doing this throughout the school year. And you could go on his page. We also too have some pictures there on Hilo News' website of some of the students. Let me see what we got here. Oh, here they are. Oh, look at that. Come on. Look at that. See? Look at the kids. Look at Dr. Gallen love the kids. That's one of the streets that's coming up. So many connections. But yeah, this is an amazing thing that he's doing. And just wanted to give him some kudos and shout out and tell you guys that if you didn't know, District 1, if your kid goes to school in District 1, which is primarily North Dade area, they have this for these students. So our next story is, this one came to me as a tip, y'all. So one of the I almost gave away the people thing. Look, that's the traffic got me all discombobulated. Somebody came in and gave me an anonymous tip. Almost gave the people the whole thing away, okay? Look, blame it on the traffic. Don't blame it on me. Y'all know, like I said, I'm an AP honor student, okay? And also, too, my guests probably could talk to some of these things that's going on in Tallahassee, right? So we got this news tip a couple of days ago. And so Florida Representative Meg Weinberger sent what they call a session gift. It was a bullet bottle opener. She sent it with a thank you letter, but it caused some alarm and confusion within, Tallahassee. And I'm being really, I guess, strategic with how I say this, because this came in as from anonymous sources. And so I want to respect people's privacy, but it still was a way for us to share information. And I wanted to share this story because a lot of times we don't know what's going on in Tallahassee. These people represent us, they go away. Somebody told me they act like Tallahassee is Afghanistan. They be up there with different lives, doing different things. Y'all can Google it for yourself if you want to know the tea. I'm not here to reveal none of that. But all I'm saying is sometimes when people are away, we don't know what they're doing. And if you're not tuned in, if you're not a civic junkie, news junkie like me, you're not seeing a lot of things. And so I wanted also to take this opportunity, this platform, to expose some of these things. And so this story that we got, I'm going to read you a couple of paragraphs from it just to give you what's going on. So during the first week of Florida's 2025 legislative session, an unusual gesture from Republican State Representative Meg Weinberger, happened. Lawmakers received hand-delivered letters from Rep. Weinberg along with bullet-shaped bottle opener gifts. While the letter expressed her excitement to work with her colleagues, the choice of gift have left some legislators and their aides perplexed, with reactions ranging from confusion to outright concern. The letter sent to representatives read, Rep, I'm grateful to serve with you in the Florida House. Many blessings, Meg. Receiving session gifts from fellow legislators is not an uncommon thing. According to elected officials we spoke to for this piece, members of the legislature have received jackets, umbrellas, pens, and even stakes, but receiving real bullets repurposed as a bottle opener was different. So sources who tipped off Hilo News described the gesture as weird, passive-aggressive, subtle, as a subtle threat, and inappropriate. Word also got back to Hilo News that some thought the gesture was no big deal. The controversy deepened when an anonymous source alleged that Black Democratic lawmakers received larger bullet-themed openers compared to their non-Black colleagues. Hilo News reached out to Rep. Weinberger for comment, asking about the intent behind the gift and a message she sought to convey. We also inquired whether taxpayer dollars were used to fund the items. As a publication, we have not received a response from Rep. Weinberger. The incident sparked conversations about symbolisms of such gifts in a politically charged climate, particularly in a state where gun rights and racial tensions frequently dominate legislative debates. And so for me, I thought it was concerning that I thought it was an odd gift as well. Like, I don't know, Rep. Weinberger. A bullet in today's climate, it could have been a harmless gift. Like I said, we reached out to her so that she can give her input and let us know what's tea. And our platform is bipartisan. Come on here. Red, blue, purple, green. Everybody is welcome on Hilo News, okay? On the Can We Talk podcast. And so for me, I thought it was an interesting story to share because some people were alarmed, and I would think rightfully so, especially when you have a president right now who is literally sending metaphoric bullets to the American people. And for a Republican lawmaker, especially from Florida, to send this, it just was not the best. I would say this, read the room, Rep. Weinberger. If you didn't mean anything by it, why you just couldn't send a steak like the other people did? Why you couldn't send a pen or something? Like, this just feels a little icky. And I understand people's, concern and why we got this tip. And the start of session was the early March. So this happened about 2 weeks ago, but we got the tip a few days ago. And so the person who shared this was like, yo, nobody's really talking about this, but this is really, really, made me uncomfortable. So we're just sharing it with you. And I would like to know, like, how do you, with these session gifts, like, who pays for these things? Is this something that taxpayers pay for? Do donors pay for this? Because I don't know if the people in her district want her spending money on bullets to be sending to the representatives, repurposed bullets as bottle openers. But yeah, how did you determine who got the big bullets? So the person who shared this with us, said that they saw that Black lawmakers' bullets were bigger than the others. I will say this. I did reach out to multiple people in Tallahassee from different levels of government, and they didn't say that they saw this. So I'm going off of one of our tips who reported this to us. And so, yeah, this is what's happening in Tallahassee. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what goes on there. But this was a way that I wanted to also to introduce some of our coverage of Tallahassee. And I think this is a really great segue into our guest for the day. She's doing amazing work in our community. She is, someone on the front lines, letting the people know what's up. And so without further ado, I would like to welcome to the Can We Talk podcast show our very special guest. Let me get this out of the way so she can have her whole shine and her whole thing. I would love to welcome to the show our very special guest today for our inaugural news show, Neuteyshe. Hey, welcome to the show. Yeah.
Hi, Kay. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And Neuteyshe, because I want to make sure that I say your name correctly, introduce yourself to everyone. Let them pronounce your full name so that we have that. We give you your things.
So my full name is Neuteyshe Felizor, and I'm a Pan-Africanist, a scholar, and advocate. I've been on the front lines advocating for Black people for the past 10 years, or actually 11 years now. This February, I just hit the 11-year mark. And that's both within and outside of nonprofit advocacy. I currently work for Black Voters Matter, which is a nonprofit organization targeted towards uplifting the voices of our Black people. And we are a fund, we're a capacity building institute. So we try to fund local, smaller grassroots organizations, Black organizations that don't typically get the funding or the viewing from state or federal levels. And yeah, we provide resources and we try to uplift those Black communities that are already on the ground doing the work and try to support them in any other way, including and outside of funding. So I do that full time, and I'm also on the board of directors for Chainless Change, which is a recovery organization dedicated to helping provide resources to formerly incarcerated people and people who are currently incarcerated. And what else? I'm a volunteer and coder and communication strategist for B1 Initiative, which is the very first online African encyclopedia that is pushing African history from an Afrocentric lens. Because when we learn about African history, first of all, we don't even learn about African history. Like, we barely even learn about African history. These books that we get in primary education, K through 12 education, they lie to us. And they dilute the information a lot. So our goal at B1 Initiative is to give the truth about Black history, about African history, and to uplift our people there from an educational standpoint. And then in my free time, I also do little think pieces on TikTok. So I'm just honestly all around, I live, breathe African liberation, and I'm really in this for the long run.
Yes, come on. Look, Black women are going to wear the hats and do the things, okay? And so you are definitely doing all the things. Thank you for letting the people know who you are and what you do. And so we met actually, I think in January, when my good friend Papa Keith Walcott, he had his fundraising event, and you connected and you talked to me, and I love what you were doing. And I'm like, yes, we gotta have you on the show. We gotta share your story. So definitely happy that that you came on and that you saw through it, and also saw value in Hilo News. Supporting local Black-owned media is how we're able to do what we do, and we do that when people support us and want to come on the platform to share their story. So want to definitely say thank you for that. Let's jump right in, because there are a few things that you want people to know. And that transition from my story about the bullet gift in Tallahassee, I thought was a really great transition into some of the things that you want to talk about. And we were talking offline about the Voting Rights Protection Bill. Can you tell us some bills that's coming up in Tallahassee? What are things that people should know about, and how can they really get involved? But we could start with what are some bills, hot button bills that the community should know about?
So there's a lot this legislative session, and continued bills from the 2024 legislative session. And so just to make it easier to digest, because I don't want to just like trauma dump on everyone, but I'm going to divide it into like two different segments, which is voter protection bill / anti-protection bill, and then immigration, so inclusive of TPS, DACA, and ICE, since that's kind of like a thing, especially us being in South Florida, we see the immigration impact a lot more. So starting with the voter protection bill, one of the good bills that are out right now is the Harry T. And Harriet V. Moore Voting Rights Act for Florida. And what that is it's going to promote voter accessibility. So right now, people who who have either applied or registered for mail-in ballots, the signatures, they're doing a signature purge. So if your signature has changed over the course of like just a couple years, they don't even like they don't check with you to see if like you're the same person. They just assume that you're not, and they categorize you as ineligible, and they throw out your voter registration mail-in ballot. So these people that think that they're on the list to get their mail-in ballot to vote for whatever upcoming election, newsflash, like they find out literally at the last minute that they can't vote, and then by the time they find out, it's already too late. So what this bill is going to do is propose anti-intimidation tactics and provide more, try to stop those measures and try to stop the purging. And then what it's also doing is it's meant to provide more language access. So one of our ally partner organizations with Black Voters Matter, All Voting is Local, they provide language access. So right now, there's only languages for ballots in English, Spanish. Those are the two main ones. I believe Arabic is also another one. And
wait, Creole is not?
Creole. So we had to fight for Creole to get on there. And this was in 2022. So I was actually partnering. Wow. I was at another organization. I was at Campus Vote Project, and I was partnering with All Voting is Local. Sam Kudley at the time, shout out Sam, he worked at the organization at the time, and we partnered together so that we could advocate for more language access for Creole voters. Because as a Haitian person myself, like, we know that South Florida is comprised of half of the population is practically Haitian, right? And then the other half is Hispanic, and then like a large majority is like all these other Caribbean islands. So it's like, if you have all these languages for, percentages of the population that aren't even a lot, right? Like under 3% of the population, but then you have Haitian voters who make up over 20%. Why are you not having Creole language accessibility? So that's something that we had to fight for. And it's currently in, but it's something that is very recent, like literally as of 2 years ago.
Wow.
So they're fighting for more language access. They're also fighting for same-day registration because, mind you, voters are everyday people working 12-hour shifts, people working 2-3 jobs. So not always do they have the time to register in advance. And although we try to push people and encourage people to do that, it's not always the case. Like, people have other responsibilities, their mothers, their wives, husbands, etc. So we want to take out as many restrictions and put in as many accessibility measures as possible to attend to as many people as possible. And so the Harriet V. and Harriet T. Moore Voting Rights Act is extremely important. Hopefully it gets passed, but that's something that our people, Black people especially, should be on the lookout for, because the restrictions that they're imposing is specifically targeted towards us, right? Because like all these issues, although they affect other groups of people, it affects us the most. So, and that's very intentional. So they should be on the lookout for that. They should, other good policy measures are HB 823, which repeals the 6-week abortion ban. So as y'all know, last year, Amendment 4, unfortunately didn't get passed. Amendment 3 didn't get passed either for the ballot initiative, which, side note, a negative bill that Ron DeSantis is trying to push forth is the proposition to remove ballot initiatives within the state legislature. And what that means is Amendment 3 and 4, they were created and put forth by the people. Like, it was literally everyday people like us that created this bill because they seen it to be beneficial to everyday citizens in the state of Florida. They pushed that bill, and typically there only needs to be a 51% with a margin of error vote in order, a majority in order to even be counted as a majority for a bill to pass. And Ron DeSantis and like all these other Republican enemies of the Black people, they keep flipping the narrative, they keep changing the goalposts. And instead of the 51%, they now pushed it to 60%. So we now have needed a minimum of 60% of the majority who voted for the bill to be passed. So that bill, unfortunately, I believe got 58%. So
Wow.
we were really close. We were close. We got the majority, right? And the majority doesn't even include all of Black people. It doesn't include all people who should be able to vote. It only includes eligible voters, right? So people who are formerly incarcerated, who are still getting their rights to vote, they still weren't counted. People with disabilities, they weren't counted. So it's like all of these barriers that they put forth through the voting process. It's to make things, it's to produce outcomes like this, so that we have a goal that we're trying so hard to meet, and they want us to not meet that goal. So we were at 58% and we needed 60% to pass. So these two amendments, they were passed by the people. So being that, although it was already difficult enough for us to even get these things to the ballot, to become an initiative, and for people to even be aware about them and vote on them, not only did we have to go through that challenge, but Ron DeSantis has proposed another bill that proposes an even bigger challenge, which is going to remove the ballot initiative as a whole, which means that in order for bills to be passed, they need to be pushed through the state legislature and not through ballot initiatives. So it just is, a further progression of the fact that we are not a democracy. And like I always say this, that the word democracy is not written in the US Constitution. We are a federal republic. And so we liberals like us, we want a democracy, but they know that this is not a democracy, and they're going to put forth every measure that they can to make sure that this is not a democracy. So those are some things that they should be on the lookout for. And I don't want to take up all the time. There's a whole lot more, but just to let the people like rest on this and let them digest it a little bit.
I would say because there's some other bills that we talked about, like those are the good ones. So the thing I feel like a lot of times, especially people who do work, whether that's advocacy work, whether that you're elected official, whatever, it seems to be a disconnect in messaging and next steps and action plans. And so something that I wanted to ask you, what can people do? Because it's there. You said these are good bills. These are things that we want to pass, especially based off of what you explained. But what can people do to help facilitate these things getting passed? Is it out of our hands at this point? Is there anything that they could do? Can they call their legislators? Can they show up to Tallahassee? Can they show up to district office buildings? Like, what can they do to show their support so that there is some momentum and energy behind these, good bills being passed?
Yeah, and a lot of those things are what you just said. We can go to Tallahassee. So Black Voters Matter is actually participating in Capitol Days. We do this every so often. We aim to do this every year, and especially every election cycle. But we're actually going to Tallahassee, Florida, because each state goes to their own state capital and does their own Capitol Day. But Florida's having a Capitol Day on April 10th with our partners, and on April 17th with our youth students, so our high school and college students. And we're providing transportation and food. Everything's going to be covered because we want to bring the people, right? It can't just be us organizers who like get paid to do this, right? We need people who actually are like everyday people who are not necessarily like in politics or like do politics for a living. We need their voices to be heard as well. So we're organizing both Capital Days this April to bring our partners and bring our community leaders and our people to do their civic duty and speak on the issues that matter most to them. And we're forcing these legislators to sit in with us. And what they try to do is they try to rush these meetings. They try to filibuster these meetings, which is like they'll accept the meeting, right? And then you'll go there and they'll try to like they'll let you say like one or two things and then they'll talk for like 15 minutes. And then next thing you know, the aide is coming in and they're like, well, the meeting's done. So we really want to provide, we're providing trainings as well, advocacy trainings, so that that doesn't happen. So that we can bring not the people not only up there to Tallahassee and be present and make their concerns voiced, but we're also providing training so that they can do it effectively and not be deterred or manipulated by certain legislators' negative tactics. So we can do we can do that. You can do that. There's also other organizations that are going to the Capitol, to Tallahassee, during legislative session, and they're doing the exact same thing. They're bringing people free of cost. You just have to show your interest. So that's Florida Student Power Network. And I actually can compile a list for anybody who would like, because I don't know all of them off top. But if you want to connect with me, I can send you the list. And you can also be a part of BVMs, because I'm actively organizing that. But that's one thing, right?
Send that to us, because that could be an article that we put out there and share with the community. So if there's a list of organizations that you know of that we can share with our audience on how they can be involved, definitely send that to me. I can help you facilitate that as well. In addition to the good bills, I know there's some bills that we talked about that we don't want passed. What are some ones that should be on our radar that we need to be like, hey, yo, whoever your state legislator or state representative, state senator, Mr. Man, Miss Woman, don't stop this one from coming through. What are some of those bills that we need to say this can't pass?
Right. So the SAVE Act is a really big one. So there's the Baby Save Act and then the SAVE Act, like the actual one. And SAVE stands for Safeguard Voter Eligibility Act. And it's this, it was put together, I believe, by the Dodge Department, the Department of Government Efficiency, in order to, again, just to provide more challenges to the common everyday person. But as y'all know, you need proof of identification in order to vote, in addition to other things, right? You need to present other things. But instead of just providing your driver's license or Florida ID, now this SAVE Act is propagating that we would need to provide additional documentation in order to what they call DPOS, documentary proof, or DPOC, documentary proof of citizenship, because of all the immigration, the rapid immigration and migration that's been happening in the United States. So they don't want people, they want to curtail people who are, I guess, trying to vote illegally, like people who are trying to vote who are not citizens. So, but obviously this isn't just going to affect people who are trying to vote who are not citizens. This is also going to affect everyday people. There already are millions of people who don't even have a driver's license, right? Like some people don't have cars. Some people don't have a driver's license or a passport, right? Like they were born here, but they just never traveled out of the country. And so, or they became a citizen and they don't have a passport. So it's just providing more challenges to even prove who you are. And so you have to provide a driver's license in addition to another piece of documentation in order to prove that you're a citizen to vote. And that is just like
So that this bill will make it mandatory and make it more difficult for people to, I guess, prove who they are or have identification in order to vote.
in order to vote. Yeah. So that means even me or you who are citizens and who can vote, like we don't just need to bring our ID, we also need to bring an additional proof of documentation other than an ID. So like if you know me, like I have a passport and a driver's license, so I can bring both, but some people who only have one or who don't have any, you know, thank God there's organizations like Vote Riders who we also partner with as an ally. They actually help pay for the driver's license and the Florida state IDs for people who can't afford it or who just don't have access.
Mm. And what was another bill that you mentioned that we don't want passed?
So Senate Bill 1718, which is essentially, it goes back to like the immigration thing where highway patrol officers are able to randomly stop people, uh,
Mm,
just, you know, cause of suspicion, like out the window. They just can stop any random person and ask for identification, again, as a measure on the Republican side to stop undocumented immigrants from entering the border or from just, you know, being in America. And so that obviously it's terrible for them, but it's also terrible for us too, because this also, like, I'm just imagining the trickle down effect, like the domino effect that it leads to people who don't want to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? And so this is something that we don't want passed. They're already very forceful, and the highway patrols are actually partnering with ICE. They're creating like some sort of coalition because I guess they're just so scared of the migrants, like they're scared of the migrants, which makes absolutely no sense. We're putting so much money into stopping immigrants who are coming here illegally when we should be directing that money towards, you know, a Department of Education, right? Like to
under
things that are
attack.
more important.
Hmm.
And it's funny, if we really want to talk about it, right? They're putting all this energy into stopping illegal immigrants when in reality, the real illegal immigrants are the white men who run this country, because we're living
Woo-hoo!
on stolen land and stolen time, if we really want to talk
Woo! You better.
about it.
I mean, if we want to say
So
call a thing. I mean, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't the people who are in power, they'll never ever admit that. But you're right. Like this land doesn't even belong to us. We were stolen and made to be here. The Native
right.
Americans, they're the ones indigenous to this country, and they were slaughtered and wiped out from disease and things like that. So you're absolutely right. Nitesh, when it comes to bills like this, a lot of times people on the other side or people who are pro, um, bills or laws like this, they'll say, well, why don't you want to be stopped? What do you have to hide? Why can you explain to people why that is problematic, especially for certain groups of people to just be randomly stopped by police or ICE agents or, looking for immigrants?
Yeah, I mean, just off the bat, like as black people existing in a black body in America, you live in a constant state of fear. And so, you know, black men especially are the most targeted victims of police violence and, you know, mass incarceration and police brutality. So it's like, if these are the people, right, like they're stopping people, and many of those targets are black, right? So
Mhm.
an officer can't tell, like law enforcement cannot tell, you know, whether this black person is an immigrant or if they're an African American or if they're a black person that is a US born citizen. They can't tell that off the bat, but they can tell that you're black. So it's like them trying to stop immigrants, but then it's stopping black people who are not immigrants. um just anything can happen, like just being afraid itself, you can end up in an unwanted situation with a police officer where that may cost you your life. Like,
Mm,
it's really sad to say, but it's like, one of my goals at BVM, and this is like a long-term goal, is to create a partnership. We have a lot of initiatives with like different organizations and different institutions. And one of mine that I'm trying to bring to the organization is a partnership with law enforcement. And it's like, that's a little iffy because of the history that law enforcement has with Black people. But I think that if we try to infiltrate their system instead of them trying to infiltrate our society, like we can start to like make a little bit of progress in terms of, less Black people dying at the hands of police, right? Less Black women, less Black men. God forbid a trans person gets stopped, right? So it's like these are the, and inclusive of other amendments and other laws that we should look out for. The 6-week abortion ban that didn't pass, there are people currently in the state of Florida who are in need of an abortion, who are traveling up north in order to go to whichever other state in order to get that abortion. This can mean, perhaps a woman who needs to get medical assistance, now she can't get medical assistance because, and then this is the domino effect. Now there's an issue with, oh, you don't have insurance, or, you may not have your license on you, or whatever situation it is. Like, I literally lost my driver's license. And I don't know if y'all been at the DMVs lately, but all the DMVs are packed from sun up to sundown. Like, if you go on the DMV portal, you can't even make an appointment for like 2 months out, 3 months out. So it's like, I am a US citizen, US born citizen. I don't have a driver's license because I lost it. Simple Gen Z error, and it's like, if I get stopped and I don't have my license on me and they stop me thinking I'm an immigrant, like, who knows what that can even lead to, right? Whether it's jail time, whether it's my life. So it's like all these, and then the DMV situation, that's like a whole nother can of worms, because it's like, why is getting service at a DMV so inaccessible, right? For even advocates like myself, right, who like I know about these things, and like I'm in it, and it's so hard for me. It's been like almost 2 months that I still don't have a license, right?
Wow.
So those
I
are
heard the DMV is like even more crazy than, if you haven't been to one in years, it's like, no, like what you thought it was is like times 1,000. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Right. So those are just a few examples of what can happen to people who are getting stopped on the highway, who are not who are not illegal immigrants, but they can still be, it can still be a cause for concern for them.
Man, Neuteyshe, thank you so much for breaking these things down. Definitely want to have you back on the show, especially if there's new things coming up, new things that we need to be on the lookout for. Definitely want to make sure I have you on the show. Now, thank you so much for breaking this down, letting people know what's going on in Tallahassee. Because like I said, a lot of times they're up there in a silo, they're just doing things. And something that someone told me, one of my mentors, she's like, our elected officials, especially the ones in Tallahassee, they don't get a lot of coverage. A lot of times they go unchecked. They even told me that a lot of our Black elected officials are doing things that the community may not know. And so having someone who is doing the advocacy work and being able to give us some information on how we can be involved and stay in tuned, so that we're civically engaged, it only helps us, because I feel like we get the country and the state that is in when people aren't civically engaged. Point blank, no matter what side you're on. And like when you don't truly understand what it means, like you said, even the thing of you saying like democracy is not even in our Constitution, like that is wow, so thank you for breaking that down. How can people connect with you, support you, if they want to get information, come, to the Capitol, or, just get involved? Like, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm going to put my email in the chat so they can connect with me via email. So that's NEUTEYSHE, which is my first name, at blackvotersmatterfund.org, or they can hit me up if it's easier. My cell phone number is 470-653-0015. I'm available, between work hours, because we gotta create some sort of boundary.
That
uh,
part.
so Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. they can get a hold of me. And then on the week, we do a lot of work on the weekends too, like our bus tours or just different partner events that we have. It always happens to be on a weekend. So I'll have my work phone with me then, and I'll be able to answer calls and, connect with the people.
Oh, thank you. I put the email and the phone number. If you're watching live, it's in the comment section, but it's also on the screen. And so you guys replay game, you guys can screen record and write it down. But yeah, we definitely got to make sure we stay involved. We just gotta. I know when you're busy, you a single mom, you may be a new college grad, you're working, you're grinding, and sometimes this shit is boring. It don't always be the sexy thing. It don't always be the most entertaining thing. But when you up there and you can't get your ID because of some policy, or you can't get services that you used to get, health insurance, and your streets are messed up and certain things are happening, you can't get jobs, the Department of Education, like these things affect our everyday life. So I'm just asking everybody to stretch a little bit. Even if this show helps you to get informed, watch it, put it on, share it with somebody, because we got to make sure that we're informed and we know what people are doing who are supposed to be working on our behalf. And here's the thing, they work for us. So if we don't like what they're doing, we can tell them, hey, we don't like this, and we can use our power and our vote to get them out of there. And that's why it's so much under attack. And some of those bills that you were telling us about are important for us to keep our eye on. And so thank you so much, Neuteyshe, for joining the show. It's been a pleasure, and definitely want to have you back on again. Okay, so we got to do this again, girlfriend. Okay.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I'm so happy and humbled to be here, and you're doing amazing work, Miss Tate. And I look forward to watching, future podcast episodes, because this is definitely a show to stay tuned in.
Thank you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Good night. Bye, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't she adorable? Wasn't she amazing? Wasn't she informative? Y'all, I hope y'all was taking y'all notes. Share, replay, send it to a friend. Look, we got to make sure that we on our stuff, because 2026, we got midterms coming up. We got a governor's election. City of Miami got an election. There's so much going on. Broward County just had elections March 11th. Like, don't think it's only for presidential stuff. It is all the things, okay? Like, it's always work, okay? So thank you again, Neuteyshe. You were amazing. And so our next segment, what I want to do with the show too is I'm going to have some segments. Word to Amanda Seales. I love how she does her show. So y'all will see inspiration from different people I watch. Don't say I'm biting. I'm just inspired, okay? And I'm going to always give people their things. But when you see best practices, you implement them. And so what I like what Amanda Seales does, and I want to do on our show, is different segments of different things that are going on. And so one of the ones I want to do before we get into our juicy topic of the Miami rap lyric streets is a feel good stories. Okay. And so one of our first feel good stories that I would like to share with you guys, and I just thought it was so adorable and it just made me smile, was some kids in Miami, and we posted it on High Low News's social media page. So if you follow us on social, a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing, you'll see there too. But definitely this is a platform for us to talk things through. But I wanted to share this really, really cute video with you guys. And so here it is. Let me pull it up for you all. Let me see, is the sound on? Let me know if y'all can hear it. Can y'all
go live? Quarterbacks attending. And little boy, y'all want to go D1? Get out of y'all bed right now. Hey, one arm, too. One arm. Y'all boy want to go D1? Get out of y'all bed. Get this work in. We might know what city for last. Say go. Oh, yeah. Get this work in. One arm. One arm. Get this work in. Get this work in, boy. Get this work in.
Oh my God.
I'm unstoppable. Record me. Stop recording. Back on live. Quarterbacks.
Aren't they adorable? Oh my gosh. Look, in a world full of craziness, sometimes we gotta laugh, sometimes we gotta have joy. And these kids, like when I saw this video, I was going up. And yes, in Miami, we train up our athletes. Okay. My fiance, he works for ESPN, and we always talk about Miami being a football factory. And he's like, some of the fastest people in the country come from Miami. And so when we started dating, I remember him coming to my apartment and seeing little kids like this outside, like playing in the apartment complex. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is why y'all are so good. He's like, those kids are so little and they're out there playing and they're like, got skill. Like Miami, don't touch. We create a lot of things, and I like to brag on our athletes. Like I know there's people who be like, oh, and it's not just about athletes, but let's look how adorable this is. And they're like, and here's the thing, this is what I really liked about what the kids said. They were like going D1. It wasn't even the NFL. It's like I want to go to college, which I thought was really cute and really adorable. And just look at them. What y'all think? What neighborhood y'all think this is? I've been trying to figure out what city I think these kids are in. I mean, it's giving a little bit of I don't know. It's giving Carroll City. I mean, it's giving Liberty. It could be, but it could be P. Ryan. It could be Richmond Heights. I don't know. Where y'all think these kids from? Let me see. I can't even see the I'm trying to read the uniform. What he got on? It's probably said what it is, but yeah, these kids are adorable. So that was one of our feel good stories that I wanted to share. And here's another one. I don't know if my girl Big Alexis is watching, but we are huge fans of rapper Bushy B, who is from Miami, amazing rapper, and he's going viral right now with one of his songs, one of my favorite song from him, I'm Scared. Somebody's sped it up, and so I just want to give him some props right now. Let me see if we could pull up the I want to pull up what the thing that's going viral right now. Let's see if he has it posted. Oh, he doesn't have it posted on his Instagram, and I'm not connected to TikTok right now. But let me show his page just so y'all know who I'm talking about. But I wanted to give him a shout out and some feel good news. So shout out to Bushy B. Shout out to Bushy. AA. So I saw that he is traveling right now and he is in New York. And I just, that's just crazy. I think he's there, doing some work and some events. Let's put the sound on and see what Bushy got going.
I appreciate all y'all for showing me love, man. Turning that Scared up, turning all my music up, man. Dumb love, man. Major love. Shout out to Africa. Shout out to Caribbean. Shout out to the whole U.S. Turned, man. Lifestyle. Yeah, we got the lifestyle turned up right now, man. Dade County, man. I'm in the Big Apple, man. First time in New York, dog. And I appreciate all y'all for showing me love, man. Turning that Scared up, turning all my music up, man. Dumb love, man. Major love. Shout out to Africa. Shout out to Caribbean. Shout out the whole U.S. Turned, man. Lifestyle.
I love it. And so he's going viral right now. He's having a moment. I know he's signed to I think he signed to Iceberg's record label. And so Bushy B is having a moment. Salute to him. Congratulations. I love his music. Y'all check him out. We got to support home team, homegrown. And that's how we are able, because to me, I feel like, and at some point we're going to have a show about it, the state of Black Miami music, state of Miami music. And I don't understand why Miami is not like Atlanta. Like the talent is here. There, like it's something off. It's something off. And he's one of those artists that I don't even think he cusses in his music, but it's so good. And y'all go check him out. Scared is my favorite song. Check that out. That was my introduction to him. Alexis, my cousin, told me about him and I was hooked ever since. So definitely want to give Bushy B his flowers and his things, and safe travels up there in New York City, and put on for the city. Hey. So the thing that we have been all waiting for, okay? Miami. Let me pull up the article because Hilo News broke it before a lot of you girls did, okay? We broke the news on the streets the resolution passing, the item passing to rename streets off of 18th Ave after iconic hip hop and R&B artists. So let me share this tab with you all, and let's get into this story and let's talk about it. And I'm gonna give you guys some background just in case you don't know what's going on. It's going viral. It's going super, super viral. So let me just give y'all a little bit of what's going on. Okay. So Commissioner Hardiman, Keon Hardiman, born and raised in Liberty City, Northwestern graduate, FAMU, attorney. He's started the City of Miami Commission, and now he's a county commissioner for District 3. So in a historic move to celebrate Miami's rich musical heritage, the Miami-Dade County Commission has approved Commissioner Keon Hardiman's initiative to rename streets along Northwest 18th Avenue in Liberty City after popular and legendary Miami hip hop and R&B artists. Excuse me, guys. The proposal, which has passed during today's commission meeting, at this time, this was on Tuesday, so March 18th, on Tuesday's commission meeting, aims to pay tribute to the city's musical pioneers by fostering economic development along the Broadway corridor. So 18th Avenue between 71st Street and 62nd Street is called Broadway. Hilo News was tuned in today's commission meeting. You can watch the full episode. We have the link there on our website. And we also have a video excerpt if you don't want to go, clicking through. According to the Miami Herald, the item passed with a 9-3 vote. Voting against this item was Anthony Rodriguez, who's the commission chair, and Commissioners Juan Carlos Bermudez and Danielle Cohen-Higgins. And then, for Commissioner Hardiman, he actually did a video for us that went, a little mini viral. People ain't like what he had to say. Some things that he said in my interview. But he did a long form, interview with Hilo News where he explained his reason behind the street naming. And he said for him, it was about economic development and ways to infuse excitement, interest, tourism, development to that area that, has not gotten a lot of love. And so in the quote from our interview, he said, we want to reintroduce Broadway back into our community as a nicer place to be. Miami-Dade County has done a terrible job investing in Northwest 62nd Street, said Hardiman in a podcast interview. People have a disagreement with what the names of the street should be rather than how much money we're investing into this space. And so Commissioner Hardiman also went on to share with me during our podcast interview that he wanted to do this because people aren't paying attention. And he said also too, to call back to the historic element in history of Broadway. And so what I didn't know was during segregation, the area on 18th Avenue was a place where the stars of the time would go stay because they couldn't stay on the beach. So they could perform on the beach. The beach was a sundown town. You could not be there when the sun went down, even if you were performing there. So you had to come stay in Liberty City. Overtown, as we know, is the Harlem of the South. But I didn't know this little known Black history fact about Broadway. He said Broadway was another place that people would come. There were rooming houses, there were bars or juke joints, and it was a cultural place back in the 1950s. And so he wanted to, pay homage and reinvigorate that area. And here's the tea. When I was interviewing him, I was like, I think I've been over there before. He's like, you probably haven't because there's nothing there. I've definitely driven on the outskirts, like on 62nd Street or 71st Street, but I had never physically driven down 18th Avenue. And I would challenge every single person, whether you are for or against whatever he's doing, to drive down 18th Avenue. At the time I was, when I recorded the interview with Commissioner Hardiman, I was recording it and my fiance was here helping me. And so we went over after the interview to drive down 18th Avenue. And girl, let's just say I did not stop. Okay. And can we call a thing a thing? Can we have a real conversation tonight? Can we have a real conversation about certain things in our community? I wouldn't have, if my car would have broke down over there, I would have been so scared. Okay. Granted, I'm not from the area. I went to Northwest and I graduated from there, but I did not grow up in that area. Okay. So Carroll City is a little different from Liberty City. And it was given very much a dilapidated. It was given very much a rundown. It was given very much a, they need the money. They need the things. And something that Commissioner Hardeman said during the interview that stuck with me was, he was like, why does this area look like this? Why hasn't it been made up? And why are we okay with it looking like this? And why are we not fighting for it to change? And so for him, he's like, this is my idea. He's like, I'm not married to any of the names of the streets. And you can see that he changed some of the street naming during the county commission meeting. He was like, for me, this is something that I've done in Overtown, and I'm trying to get people to 18th Avenue, historic 18th Avenue, right? And so, you know, at first people were against it. He went viral. I think one of the commissioners said they don't want to live on Back That Ass Up Street. That wasn't one of the proposed names. The one that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was Grind With Me. I thought it said Grind On Me, but it was Grind With Me. But either way, we know what Pretty Ricky talk about in that song, and I don't think that was a proper street name. But the other ones I thought was funny. And at first I just felt like it was, I wasn't sure what his why was behind it. I thought it was hilarious when I first saw it. Like, I didn't really even take it as serious as it was, but I did know that I wanted to talk to him to figure out why he was doing this. You know, and so I started seeing some articles and saw what he, you know, was talking about, and I was like, okay. And then when we did our interview, when he broke it down, I was like, I get it. And so this is my personal views. This is taking it out of whatever. We presented the objective story. My personal views is this. I think it's a good idea. It's a little ratchet, it's a little ghetto, but here's the thing. I was already talking to friends, and we were like, when one of them street, like, it was your birthday street, or it's another one, it's another street. Oh, Closer to My Dreams. I want a picture next to that. I ain't gonna lie. Here's the other thing too. I think a lot of people forget about Keon. He is a millennial. He's from this area, and I think he's thinking about things differently. He's thinking outside of the box to infuse energy into that area. And here's the tea. Before he came up with these names for these streets, wasn't nobody talk about Mother effing 18th Avenue. Y'all wasn't driving over there. Y'all didn't care about it. Y'all wasn't shopping over there. It's only the people over there who have to live in those conditions. And honestly, those people do not deserve to live like that. So if this is something that he's doing to try to help his district, he, you know, said that he's talked to people in his district to do this. Who am I, somebody who don't live over there, to tell them what to do? And here's the other thing too, because we live in a democracy, you know, according, you know, Neuteyshe just told us it's not in the Constitution, but for all things considering, if you don't like it, it's your right to go voice that. I also too would challenge you to get with your neighbors, to get with your groups, and come up with a plan, and or also to challenge the elected officials. You can say, hey, I don't like this, but let's figure out something else we could do. But we do know it shouldn't look like this. I think something that hasn't been discussed throughout all of this for me is, okay, if you don't like it, what would you like over there? What do you think it would take? Did you reach out to the district, to the county, to say, hey, I have a plan, or I know some people have a plan, or we want to start somewhere to change this? What I don't like is, and we do this a lot of times in our community, we'll really, really harp on the negative thing, and we won't try to, like, and it'll be a surface level thing. And we won't try to say, well, okay, I may not have liked what you did here, but I do acknowledge the fact that this needs to change. So let's figure out something that we all can agree on. And I feel like my interview, which I'm I'm so glad everybody was watching it, it brought up some sensitive subjects. And so during the interview, and I go challenge you to watch it in full. I don't have the, matter of fact, I want to pull up, I know who got the clip in full. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. So during my interview, and the thing that caused controversy, and I'm actually in the process of scheduling an interview with some parents of murdered children, Commissioner Hardeman speaks about kids, and he says something to the effect of, you know what, I don't even want to butcher it or say it wrong. Somebody pulled the clip. I'm gonna play the clip for y'all, and I want y'all to go watch the whole interview. But this particular clip had them people saying Keon needed to catch them outside. So let me share this tab with y'all and play for y'all what
any of the streets in our communities after dead children. How many times have we named? But I'll tell you this though, they have no problem whatsoever naming any of the streets in our communities after dead children. How many times have we named a street in our community after a dead child? In fact, we probably have a great number of them, especially during the time over the last 15 years or so. I mean, no one ever says, well, you know, it's not a good idea for you to continue to name these communities or these streets in these communities after 4 and 5 and 6 and 7-year-old kids. No one bats an eye at that. It's okay. I mean, what did they accomplish? Well, did the neighborhood change because of the shooting? Was there something that came out of it? Was there affordable housing that was put into the area? Did they make the park better? Is it safer? Is it a place that now people want to move into? I mean, what is it about this child dying that is so significant? Right? But they do it because I believe they just want likes from the community.
Y'all hear me? I know. Can I be real with y'all? I'm a person who don't really think that quick on my feet. And so when I'm caught off guard, I'm trying to get my bearings. And so the one thing I regret in this interview, and I could be real with y'all, I did not do a follow-up. And here's the thing, Commissioner Hardeman and I had some side conversations. So I knew his intent, but I also knew that it came out, it didn't come out with kid gloves. It was a little blunt, right, y'all? It wasn't sensitive. It wasn't considerate of the parents' feelings who, you know, would watch this interview. And a lot of them are hurt and bothered and upset by this, rightfully so. And so I've even talked to the commissioner after the fact, and I'm hoping to do a part 2 with him because I want to know the follow-up, like what happens next after these street names and what's going to actually happen to bring resources and development to that area. Like naming the streets ain't going to do it by itself, right? And so I was sitting there like, what? I didn't know what to say, y'all. I didn't know what to say. There's also another comment in there about Moonlight that I was like, I thought the Moonlight comment was gonna go viral. It was the murdered kids that had the community up in arms. And here's the thing: there was somebody who I think is mentally, you know, touched in the community. I ain't gonna even call him out like that, but he was calling me out and saying I should have done more. And I should have stopped Keon from saying this. And I'm like, I can't control that. As a journalist, as an interviewer, I can't manipulate the conversation. But I do admit that I wish that I did a follow-up question and asked him to explain what he meant, and also to also speak to people who may be offended or by what he said. Because I think, but at the time, as you could see, I'm trying to hold my composure. But I'm like, all you hear me saying is, like I was just like trying to get the shit back and get myself back in the present moment of this interview. And so, yeah. And so honestly, the parents, you know, want to come on the podcast, and rightfully so. I think they deserve the platform. And for us, I want to share both sides. You know, he said what he had to say. The parents have opportunity to share what they have to say. But yeah, so this is what he was saying from our conversations. When he proposed the street names, people were saying that some of the artists didn't deserve to have their lyrics as street names because they had not accomplished enough. They had not been, you know, done enough to be honored in this way. And so Keon was saying, comparing the two, if we're gonna keep that as the barometer on how we're giving out street names, then how can we say that a 2-year-old or 6-year-old who was gunned down has accomplished something or has an extensive resume to have a street named after them? I will say this: I don't I understand what he's saying. I understand why parents are upset. But I also understand that those streets exist to be a memorial, a way to remember those fallen kids, and a way to acknowledge that we don't want this to happen again in our community. It's an example of, you know, something tragic that happened. And it's a marker, you know, to show that, and it's a memorial and a way to celebrate these kids' lives, to say you existed, you lived, and here's this thing to honor you. And so to me, I'm not against that. Something that I was challenged on was setting a precedent of naming every kid that is murdered by gun violence in Miami-Dade County. Do we want to set the precedent of naming every street after them? And I thought about it, and I was like, first of all, not everyone gets a street named after them. It's a tough process. But if we're being fair, does one kid life matter more than the other? So does that mean that every kid should have a street named after them? And I don't know if that's the best idea and the best use of our space. And let's talk about energy. I thought about it. I was like, if every street, and unfortunately we live in a county that has, you know, gun violence, and that's had gun violence issues for decades. If every person got a street that was murdered, and not a person, every child that got a street that was murdered, a street that was named after them that was murdered, it would be effing depressing to ride down our streets. It would be a constant reminder of these traumatic, unfortunate things. And so I don't know if we want to set the precedent that everybody gets a street named after them. And so I don't know what the process is on how they decide, but I also too can see it could be a tricky thing for a parent or family who wants their child to have a street, and they chose another high profile case and high profile child to name a street after, you know? So it gets a little dicey. And also too, is there another way that we could honor these fallen babies, these fallen angels? What does that look like for us to acknowledge them, to say that they lived and they mattered, without it being, you know, a second, you know, graveyard, so to speak, like these markers that show that these kids have passed away? And then also too, someone told me, well, what do I tell my child about a kid whose name is up there? And if they ask me, and they ask about what that means, and what happened to them, and the implications that can give that child of like, well, I get a street named after me if I get murdered. So it does become a very dicey, sensitive subject. I personally would not want to be elected official trying to make these decisions. Everybody would get streets if it was up to me, because I would be like, all of y'all feelings matter. Everybody's valid. But I also understand that's not the best use of our roads. I also too don't think that we should invite a lot of negative energy into spaces that are already struggling to grow and thrive. And so we got some tough conversations to have as a community. I think the parents and Commissioner Hardiman, I hope they have a conversation where they can be heard and he could be heard, and there's some common ground and healing and reconciliation that can happen from the comments and people being hurt. But I also too think we need to talk about realistically, how do we want our communities to look? Who do we want leading us into those spaces? What plans? How do we want to demand it? And also too, not settling when something doesn't happen in the timeline that we want, because as we know, government works slow. And so we need to stick with it. And we need to not be okay with how our communities look. And so, you know, Commissioner Hardiman has a plan, whether you agree with it or not. I can't fault somebody for saying, hey, this looks like crap over here. This is my idea that I think can work, and I want to try it. And I'm also too talking to residents and people who actually live off of 18th Ave, and I ran this by them, and you know, people over there said they like it. And I want to, you know, move forward with it to do something. And like I said, I challenge anybody. If you don't like it, if you feel like it's not the best idea, voice your concerns, especially if you live in that area. If you live in that area, you want the people who his constituents, and you're like, hey, I don't like this, and I think there's something better we can do. Voice your concerns, but just staying on Facebook and social media, causing ruckus, causing negative energy. I know that's a way for people to get their stuff out, but like, what else are you going to do after that? If you're just going to keep it on social media, it's kind of like you ain't really, you're not really in the game. And here's the tea for people, because I see a lot of negative comments and people saying they don't like it. Go watch that county commission meeting. I was waiting for at least, I thought I would see at least 10 people saying, no, I don't want this. There was not one person who came up and said, I do not want these streets to be renamed this. So where y'all was at? Because if you're going to stay on, this is the issue with us. You can't stay on social media and saying X, Y, Z, and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And granted, I get it. They do these county commission meetings on a Tuesday in the morning. You may not be able to get off of with the dozens and hundreds and thousands of people that live in that district. If you telling me not one person could take off work to go represent the people who don't want this, that's saying a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. That's saying a lot. That not one of y'all could go. Did y'all not know? Because here's the thing, it went viral the first time when the commissioner said she didn't want to live on Back That Ass Up Street. It went viral then, and it was tabled until the commission meeting that happened on Tuesday. So I think it was about a week or two span between those meetings. So y'all had time to plan and get it together. And that's the issue when we talk about being civically engaged. And what me and my good girl Neuteyshe was talking about earlier, she going up there to Tallahassee, sitting at people like y'all, you have to be involved. Doesn't like you got to stretch yourself a little bit. You may have to be a little uncomfortable, okay, to make sure that you're involved. And if y'all didn't like this thing, why didn't one person come say anything about it? It must ain't bother you that much. Here's the thing that I also too think. A lot of y'all don't even live in his district that don't like it. Let's call it what it is. Y'all don't even live over there. Okay? Y'all don't like it, but y'all don't even live on 18th Avenue. And it was about, I think, at least 10 people, maybe 10 or 15 people that came and spoke or like stood there to have somebody speak on their behalf that said, we want this. And that was the deciding factor that even some of the county commissioners who weren't for it at first, when they saw people from the community who said, we want this, they voted for it and approved it because it wasn't getting passed the first time. They wasn't for it. They was like, I don't get this. What you mean street names after lyrics? What the F? We don't want this. But yeah, y'all ain't show up. So that's why y'all finna have Still the Baddest in a Ding Chang Street. That's why you finna have Trick Love the Kids Street. That's why you finna have, let's go through the list of names today because I got it from the Miami Herald. They had a list of names. So City Girl Street, Soul Tie Street, Post and Delete Street, Chase This Money Street, Born and Raised Street, Big Money Baller. You can't even say that without saying, you gotta sing Big Money Baller. Big Money Baller. Big Money Baller Street. We the Best Terrace. Still the Baddest Street. I ain't gonna lie. I want a picture from I want a picture in front of Still the Baddest. Trick Love the Kids Street. It's Your Birthday Street. Bad Boys Street. Welcome to the MIA Terrace. I Love My Dog Street. I Deserve It All Street. Closer to My Dream Street. That's another one I want a picture in front of. Tunnel Vision Street. That's another one I want one in front of. Welcome to My House Street. You Go Girl Street. People Change Terrace. Lovers and Friends Street. Peace in the Hood Street. That's another one I want a picture in front of. Running Yard Street. No Pain, No Gain Street. Word to Betty Wright. Honestly, once I actually saw the list of names, I didn't really see nothing that was so negative. I really didn't. Like it feels icky because you're like naming it after lyrics. And I think the Grind With Me one was like the what? And maybe I Love My Dogs one or Chase This Money. I don't know. Maybe those are kind of like dicey, but for the most part, they're positive lyrics. And here's the thing that I will commend Commissioner Hardiman for. He said that he's not married to names. I don't know now that it's approved that they can all change. I know he had to change the Grind with Me one. But I also too challenge people who are stakeholders in that community, business owners, residents. If there's something that you don't see, that a name that you don't like, I challenge you to go talk to his office, talk to him and say, hey, can we see this? Or maybe not do this. It is very much ghetto-ness, friend. But please tell me you don't want a picture in front of Sid of Addis. Look, I think it's going to get people in that area. I think it's going to get people in that area. And if it does, and here's something too, that there's precedence with Commissioner Hardiman doing, I guess you want to say radical things. Like I remember back in, what was that, like 2014, 2015, when he started doing like Art Basel events and festivals and things like that and bringing people into Overtown, when nothing was built up over there. The Red Rooster wasn't there, the Urban wasn't there. Like, no, it was just gravel and dirt over there. But he was doing events because he was trying to get people into Overtown, especially to take advantage of the Wynwood area and getting people over there. Overtown still ain't where it need to be, but it's a hell of a lot better than it used to be. And it's one of my favorite places to hang out. I literally just told you I was late for this because I was in Overtown. Like, I probably stop in Overtown every time I'm in Miami to do something, whether I'm going to the Urban, Red Rooster, the War Rooming House, Little Greenhouse Grill. Like, it's always something to do over there. And I love the fact that it's super Black. It feels like a safe space, especially in that area. Red Rooster is a beautiful restaurant. Little Greenhouse is a beautiful restaurant. The Urban is beautiful. War Rooming House is beautiful. The Lyric is beautiful. Like, it's walkable. Like, I'll park my car and go hopping from one to the next one. And I like Overtown, and I wish it was more to do there. And I actually, before I had my apartment, I ain't gonna tell y'all where, it's in North Day area because people look crazy. I was looking for an apartment in Overtown. Like, I wanted to live in Overtown. And growing up, was on Overtown, cracked out Overtown, you would have never got me to want to say I wanted to live up. My mama ain't never take us to Overtown growing up. We ain't never go to Overtown in the 90s, in the early 2000s. You ain't go down there if you ain't need to go down there. It was no need for us in Carol City to go to Overtown, girl, because every time you turned on the news, they was dragging out a body out of there. It was that, the triangle, the beam. We didn't go mess with her. I grew up in church, y'all. Jesus people me. Carol City me. I mean, Carol City, Miami Gardens get it popping, but we ain't pop like y'all in Overtown. You could have never got me to go over there. Never. Now I'm always in Overtown. And that's, to me, creative ways of getting people into spaces. I still think our spaces need a lot of work, but I also think that it's up to us to demand more. I think we have to get more active. And to me, I do think a way to reinvigorate our areas, especially our cultural, historic areas in Black communities, especially in South Florida. I think cultural tourism could do that. I think having people, and to me, it's people of all races and ages, coming to our areas. But I also too think that we miss a huge opportunity just marketing to other Black people around the country. And the thing that, I don't know if y'all know this, people who travel, especially Black conscious people who travel, which is a lot of them, we all seek out Black spaces. We look for Black-owned restaurants. We look for Black-owned businesses and events to go to when we go to different cities. People are in Harlem. They're in Brooklyn. They're in D.C. They off of Northwest. I ain't even going to pretend like I know all the names. They in Baltimore. They go to Chicago. We may not want to play too much with the South Side girls, but we in Chicago. We go to L.A. We going to, the Compton girls. We ain't going to, we kind of tiptoe with y'all, but we do it, And we're looking for cultural experiences. And I think that Miami, especially the Black Miami and Black South Florida, we're not doing a good enough job sharing our story and telling what our cultural spaces are. And I think that if done properly, if these streets take off, I think this is another way for us to say, hey, this is one of our spaces, you know, especially if the redevelopment happens over there. We can say, this is a place that you need to visit. Yeah, we know the beach is sexy. Yeah, we know Wynwood is cool and fun, but come over to 18th Avenue. Come over to Third Street in Overtown. Come over here and come play with us for a little bit. Come spend some money over here. Come spend your time over here. Eat lunch, you know, have fun, go shop in our areas. We have something nice to show you too. And I think this is the way to do it. And I think that with investment, we can see a transformation in our areas. And I think that having, you know, attention grabbing things to do, like before Wynwood was Wynwood, it was the artists over there making it what it is. And so if there's an opportunity to have 18th Avenue be a mini Wynwood, or, you know, why not? And here's the other thing, like I keep saying, if you don't like the idea, come up with your own and push it through. And I help you connect with who I can help you connect with. But what we can't settle for is what it looked like now, what it's been looked like for decades. Okay, we can't be okay with that. And honestly, like I said, I challenge everybody to go, like I was challenged, go drive down 18th Avenue and say you won't feel bad that you have ignored these people and not tried to do more to support radical change over there, because they deserve nice things. We deserve nice things. We deserve to come back and enjoy our community. And I ain't gonna fault somebody, whether you love the Kid Street or not. I ain't gonna fault somebody for wanting to do that. And I feel like this, he got to answer to them parents for saying that shit. Sorry, you got to eat that too, Commissioner. And I think he realizes that too. Like you gotta eat that and stand there and have those conversations with those parents and hear them out too, because it was a more gentle way to say that. And honestly, for me, you know, I'm gonna throw my little pitch out there. If I was hired to do marketing and promotion and things like that for District 3, I would have led with economic development. You would have had everybody on your side. It wouldn't have even been no question. Had you said, look, this is my idea for economic development for a dilapidated area in my community that has been like this for decades. They don't deserve this. Our community deserves better. This is a way to bring jobs and this and that here. And we're leading with economic development. And this is one of the things I think can drive that. I would have led with it and said the names of this and that. You would have had, it wouldn't even been none of this. It wouldn't have been none of this. However, I will applaud you, because there's no such thing as bad publicity. And to get the Washington Post to cover this, and you got people talking about 18th Avenue that y'all need to drive down, please drive over there, okay? He got people talking. Everybody feel a way about Ye, but at least y'all feel something. And F Kanye right now, because he is not the one. Really F Kanye, but I hate to even quote him, but it was apropos to this, okay? But yeah, that's my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cents about, you know, 18th Avenue getting renamed after iconic Miami hip hop and R&B artists. Also too, here's a point. Every one of those artists are going to go over there and take a picture, do a video or something. And that right there is going to just be a resurgence in energy over there too. So yeah, look, that's what it is. That's what it is. You're right. It don't look good, y'all. Matter of fact, don't even, since y'all so concerned, don't even drive down 18th Avenue, because you got the protection in your car, the comfort of your car. Walk down 18th Avenue between 62nd and 71st. That's what, 10 streets? My math ain't that good. Walk down 9 streets. Walk down 18th Avenue in the daytime. In the daytime. I would never ask nobody to walk down there at night. And the fact, even though I'm making light and jokes of it, but the fact that I'm saying don't walk down that street at night unless you need to be over there says everything about that area and why it needs to change and why that's not okay. You know, we always laugh to keep from crying, you know, but it's not okay. I should be able to walk down that street any time of night. I should be able to feel safe. The people in that community should feel safe and have a beautiful walking space and green spaces and businesses and homes and things like that. They should feel comfortable. They should have nice things. And it should be any time of night where they feel safe and comfortable and respected by the government who can do more in that area. And so, yeah. Whoo, girl. Whoo, Beyonce. Whoo. Y'all still with me? I know it's probably just my family watching at this point. Y'all put some hearts or something in the comments. Give me some energy before I get out of here. Give me something. Yeah, y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Look, if you are not already following Hello News, you missing out. Okay, you are missing out. Look, I see you. Neuteyshe. Look, honestly. Can I give you, I'm going to give you some flowers. And the reason why I'm going to say this is because the fact that we ended our interview and you stayed on and watched, and I saw you back there laughing, we in the private chat, and the fact that, to me, that you felt entertained or informed by what I'm saying and what I'm doing, it's the little things like that that gives me that inspiration and motivation to keep going. Because you could have easily been like, girl, I'm going to go. But the fact that you thought that I'm going to keep watching this, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody who shared, to everybody who popped on and popped off. Y'all, this work is not easy. This work is not always fun. This work sometimes kicks my behind. It makes me challenge myself and my self-worth. Thank you, Neuteyshe. She said, this is such a great show and I learned something new too. Thank you, baby. And so thank you, girl. I appreciate that. I ain't even gonna cry. I don't know. Maybe it's that, I don't know. I'm feeling real emotional right now, but y'all, this work is not always easy. And I've been grinding, doing this now since 2018. I incorporated. I started in 2015 as it was a hobby for me, but I knew I always wanted it to be this and even more. And in 2019, I went full time, quit my job on a whim, and saw an episode of Insecure where Issa quit her job and I quit my job. Stupidest shit to do. Don't ever do that. But I just believed in this so much, and being a journalist for mainstream papers and working in different newsrooms and seeing how our stories were not treated with respect, seeing how somebody like Neuteyshe couldn't get on some of these news shows, these news, like they have their little shows that come on Saturdays and Sundays. They don't give us even this much time to express ourselves. You get what I'm saying? And so for me, I was like, that's who are you to decide what stories matter? Who are you to decide that our stories don't matter? I've seen Black journalists and people fight for our stories, but if you don't lead it, if you don't own it, it don't matter. And I was like, as an intern, I realized I either had to be in leadership or ownership so that the stories that mattered to my community would get the light of day. And so even with Hello News, we're a micro influencer. We do pretty good with our engagement and stuff like that. But I know the fact that we don't have 1 million followers is because we don't do all that gossipy, violent type of stuff. We don't do the stuff that the algorithm rewards. And so it's a little bit more of a grind for us. But I do know if you watching me or if you following us, you really, really tuned in. And for us, every little bit helps. And I know that one day we'll be bigger and we'll be more, effective and have more people tuning in. But I appreciate the 7. I'm going to just say, it's 7 people watching me right now. Okay. Live. And I appreciate all 7. Look at God. Lucky number 7. Don't get me to preaching in here tonight. Come on now. I know my mama shouting over there. Come on now. I know my best friend over there doing the Holy Ghost dance. Come on now. Somebody clap for me. Okay. Lucky number 7. This work is not easy, but I appreciate the grants that we've got, the people who've seen the value in us. Shout out to the Pivot Fund, Tracy Powell. Shout out to the Reg Fund, the Racial Equity and Journalism Fund from the Borealis Foundation, Alicia, Dalia, Jessica. Shout out to the Press Forward team, Dale over there, all the Press Forward South Florida, new team, the Miami Foundation, all of just thank y'all, because without y'all support, without y'all pouring into Hello News, I wouldn't be able to provide jobs and to 5 people right now. Like we're micro team, but for me to say have 5 people, team members working for me right now, like I remember when I couldn't even pay myself. I remember, friend, I'm about to give you the link, friend. Remember my first payment for $1,800, and away we went up like it was 18 million. Y'all don't even know. And I ain't gonna give y'all all my tea, but it ain't $1,800 no more. We okay over here. We can always do better now. We can always do better. Please, it's journalism. I am not rich by no means, but it has been a journey, and I actually enjoyed doing this show. I wish I could do it more days a week, but I don't think I got it in me. That's a lot of energy to put out into a situation. But shout out to Derica, Tamila, Lanisa, Annie, Edward Williams, my freelancers, Shanae, Clayton. Oh my gosh, she gonna kill me. She do all of our interview. She's been doing our event coverage. Oh my gosh, I gotta get her name. I gotta get it right because it's gonna bother me if I don't get it, if I don't say it, because I'm about giving people their things. Look at my brain wanting to do me like this. Oh, what's my girl name? What's my girl? Farrah. Shout out to Farrah. Farrah and everybody who's supporting or working for Hilo News, and I'm grateful that I could pay people. Ashika, oh gosh, my girl, who's my first lead journalist. And just everybody who's ever freelance worked and did anything to pour into Hilo News. My initial board who was volunteering, Wanda and all those amazing ladies, and Tiffany, Alexis, thank you guys. And yeah, we gonna keep it rocking. I pray and I see the vision, and I know it's gonna grow, and we gonna keep at it. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see. Send me DMs, send me emails, text me story ideas that y'all want me to cover. Tell people to come on our platform to do an interview like Neuteyshe did. Like, come on, tell them like this is our show, this is for us. And yeah, something that Keon said that I'm gonna say in my interview, because he said something that I really liked. He said, I want to eat Miami Beach lunch. He said, they don't want us over there anyway. I want to eat their lunch. And that's how I feel about the other mainstream stations. No tea to the black press and the people who own the allies over there. But I want to eat Channel 7 lunch, okay? I want to eat Channel 10 lunch. I want to eat NBC lunch. I want to eat CBS 4 lunch, okay? I want y'all coming over here tuned in and help me eat their lunch. Even though shout out to all my NABJ people who work for those stations. But yeah, this is for us. So I'm going to let y'all go. Enjoy y'all dinner. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Ooh, it's 8:34. Ooh, we went long this time, but it was needed. And I thank y'all for letting me get through the kinks and work through everything. Make sure y'all are following. I was in the middle of a point and forgot it just that quick. Make sure y'all following us on all platforms. Share, like, tell a friend. Sign up for our email newsletter. We have exclusive content for our loyal followers. Our newsletter goes out every Saturday and Sunday. For our loyal followers, there's exclusive content there. Follow us on social media, hit the like button, share, subscribe. That helps us in the algorithm so more people could see us and we could get more followers, because getting some YouTube money will be real good to do. Okay, we like the grants, we like our ad sales, but we need some automated stuff over here. Okay, so getting some YouTube money will be good, and even Facebook too. I think we just got monetized on Facebook. It ain't a lot, but I'm gonna take every little thing. Okay. And also too, I want to do a segment where I do shout out and highlight black press and black media, because I think y'all need to know what they're doing. And that's my way of giving energy and reverence to my colleagues and kind of paying my tithes. Like, you give, and that's how you receive. I'm a big believer in giving. And so I'm gonna start doing that as well, just highlighting and giving a platform to other people. So yeah. Thank you, Mommy. That's a great way to end. You were born for such a time as this. The best is yet to come. I wish that word for everybody. I don't know how this turned into church, but that's what it is. Amen. 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 Somebody, come on now. Come on now. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We about to pay some bills. Shout out to ABFF. Hey, y'all support my advertisers who support us. And I'll see y'all next week, Thursday. We have some really great guests. And this was fun. I love y'all. Bye.